Is Eli Robbins, and today I'm going to be doing a very basic Excel tutorial. I use Excel a lot in my finance classes, and it's a useful tool that I think everyone should have a basic knowledge of. So we're going to open up the application here and be presented with this screen. The screen has different options on what you can go into. This is a blank workbook, and then it also has pre-made templates you can use to help manage your money or track your tasks or really anything that's on here. Today we're just going to open up this blank workbook and just some terminology to help you sort of understand Excel better. This is called a Excel spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet is made up of different columns and rows. So this is column A, column B, row 1, row 2, etc. At the intersection of every single column and row is a cell, and each cell has its own name. This one is C4, this one is D4, and so forth. Up at the top here, we have what are called tabs: the Home tab, Insert tab, Page Layout tab, and within each tab is a ribbon. So this would be the Formula ribbon, the Data ribbon, the Review ribbon, and each ribbon has various tools to help you create different spreadsheets and work within Excel. Today we're going to focus on the Home tab and Home ribbon, and we are going to develop an inventory just to help me demonstrate some of the basic tools within Excel. I work over at the Dick's Sporting Goods golf department, so we will use that as reference. We'll start in cell A1 here, and you can either begin typing in A1, or if you want to actually go within the cell, you can double click on it, and then you can see the cursor pop up. So we will call this inventory golf department inventory, and that will be the title. Next up, we will create some titles for the inventory. So we'll start with item, and you can just start typing and then hit enter. And then you can use the arrows on your keyboard to scroll through here, or you can double click, but it's more convenient using the arrows. So item, and then I'll scroll to the right there, type date received, scroll to the right again, price, location of the item, markup percentage, and finally the brand. So the first item we'll look at are Pro V1 golf balls. And you can also click up here if you make a mistake. So I accidentally just added an E to balls, so I will delete that E, hit enter. The date received will say February 23rd. The price, $45.99. The location, the ball wall, and the markup percentage, which is just the difference between what the manufacturer sells it to us for and what we sell it, is 0.45, so that'll be 45%, and it is a tailor-made brand. So as you can start to see here, I have the golf balls title, but it doesn't fully fit into this cell. And so if you go at the top here and double click right there, it will move it over to the farthest title in that column. So that moved all the way over for golf department inventory. Next up, we will use a spider putter. Date received, we'll just say the 14th of February. Put the price in there. It's located at the putter rack. Markup percentage of 0.35%, 35%, and it's a tailor-made brand. And as you can see there, when I started to type in the tailor-made, all I had to do was type that T in, and the spreadsheet remembered I had typed it in earlier and filled it out for me. So once it does that, I'll just click enter, and I can move on. We'll do one more here. We'll say DNA golf shoes, received 14th of January. Put the price down, location, markup of 65%, and this is a Nike brand. So now we have a basic inventory filled out here, and I'm just going to mess around with some of the tools on the Home tab and sort of make it look a little bit more presentable. So we'll start at the top here with golf department inventory. This is a pretty cool tool. If you click in the A1 tab and scroll all the way over to wherever this ends, your inventory ends, so in this case it's the F column, and you click this button right here, merge and center, it's going to get rid of all those walls and actually center the title of this inventory for us, which just makes it a little bit better. We can then even change the font size to 14 right there, make it bold, and even underline it. So it's starting to look pretty good. For the titles here, within it, I'm going to make them bold and italicized as well. And also, this is pretty cool. You can see here date received and all the way there. So if you click and scroll all of that, double click that, it will actually automatically fit everything to the writing, fit all the cells to the writing, which can be useful. So now we've got our titles formatted pretty well, and we'll move on here to the actual information. So you can see here the price, I put $45.99, and it looks okay, but we might want to actually change the formatting of the cell to a currency, which can be done right here. And so we will click that, scroll down to currency, and you can see it adds the money sign, which just adds to the presentation. The same thing can be done here for the markup percentage. We put 0.45 to represent 45%, but in this case we will then change that to a percentage. And you can see how it changed the percentage and that it gave you 2 marks after the decimal. So it gave us 45.00. That's not really necessary here. So I will just click and hold, scroll down my cursor, and then hit this button right here. That one would add an extra decimal point, and this will take it away. So we'll stick with no decimal points there. Additionally, you can change the color of the font. So if you want to, so you have 2 TaylorMades here. If you wanted to color code the TaylorMade brand to blue, let's say, you just click the font color button here. It will bring down, and you have to hit this little arrow, and it will bring down all these different options, and we'll make it blue. And then Nike, we will make red. And you can also fill in these cells with a color to add a little bit of color and keep the attention of whoever's looking at the inventory list. So you go to fill color here, we'll click that, and we'll do a light green. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to also click this and scroll over all of these. And here is a border. So each cell you can add a border to. So we'll demonstrate right here. So that's the border. We can do the outside border of that. You can then take the border away with that button and add top border, bottom border. So here we're going to click and select all of these cells, and then we're going to add a bottom border to them just to make it look a little bit more presentable. And the last thing I will show you is how to position the text within the cell. So generally, I think it looks good for the first A column text to be all the way over to the left. But for the rest of this, we can click and hold the B3 cell, drag and drop our cursor to the F6 cell. And this is actually called, just some additional terminology for you, a range of cells. And this range would be called B3 through F6. And that's actually represented as this when you see it written out. That little colon there represents the through. So B3 through cell F6, and we will come up here to the text position, and we are going to center that text, make it look a little bit nicer. And that, I think, is a solid start for how to use Excel. We used inventory, which can be useful for teachers or anyone who wants to sort of keep track of things within their household and mark it with locations and how expensive it was, etc. So again, my name's Eli Robbins. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and best of luck with your Excel endeavors. Thanks.